Assalamualaikum viewers, welcome to my channel NTs Guru. Today's lecture is lecture 1 of series of basics of probability. In this lecture we will discuss some of the basic terms related to probability. What is probability? Probability is an extent to which an event is likely to occur. Probability is the extent to which an event is likely to happen. Life is basically full of uncertainties, so we have to take decisions in conditions which may or may not be favorable. So instead of guessing probable results, we will use formulas and we will learn the terms associated with the probability. By knowing these terms, it will be easy for us to find the exact probability of anything. So first term associated with probability is experiment. All acts are not experiment basically. Definite or countable results are experiment. For example, if we are selecting a student for speech from a school, so there isn't mention which student, which class students or which school students, so that is not actually an experiment. So by next, tossing a coin. So whenever we toss a coin, there will be two results, either head or tail. These are countable results, so this is an experiment. In other experiment, throwing a dice, there will be 6 results, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is an experiment, throwing a dice and tossing a coin. So it is very important to know about the experiment. It is the condition given is an experiment or not. Next is outcome. Probable results related to experiment are called outcomes. In case of tossing a coin, outcomes are head or tail. In case of throwing a dice, outcomes are 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So these are the outcomes. What is sample space? Is actually set of all possible outcomes. We write it as curly bracket head or tail in case of tossing a coin, and in case of throwing a dice, 1 2 3 4 5 6 is a sample space. We will use curly brackets to write down the sample space of any experiment event. Selected outcomes. Selected outcomes or conditional statement. Conditional statement is called as event. For example, if we throw a dice, how many numbers will be even? So this is a condition. So from sample space we will select how many numbers are even, or another event is by throwing a dice, how many numbers will be odd. So from sample space we can select the numbers that are odd. Another event, how many numbers are greater than 3 when we by throwing a dice. So greater than 3 4 5 6 will be the event. this is an event. 4 5 6 will be favorable outcomes. So by throwing a dice, how many numbers are less than 3? So this is another event. So 1 and 2 will be favorable outcomes. If particular condition is imposed, then that will be an event. Favorable outcomes. Favorable outcomes are basically results which are obtained from event. For example, by throwing a dice, how many numbers are even? So 2, 4, 6 is a favorable outcome. By knowing favorable outcome and by knowing sample space, it is very easily to find probability of any event. So basically probability is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So if we know the total number of outcomes from the sample space, so it is very easy for us to find the probability, or in other words, number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes will be probability of that event. If we know event, if we know sample space, and if we know the total number of outcomes and favorable outcomes, so probability can be found. For example, if an event is how many numbers are there in throwing a dice are even, so how many numbers are even? 2, 4 and 6. So there are 3 numbers which are even. So total number of outcomes are 6. So 1 by 2 is the probability of event throwing a dice having even numbers. So in the next lecture we will discuss a next topic in which we will discuss some of the events sample space. वीडियो को लाइक करें और शेयर करें और मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें.